Hello, welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to give some information on a question that I got recently on the channel. I had a viewer, Kimmer551, asked basically why when I shoot videos tours, that I don't describe the house, like how tall the ceilings are, what kind of countertops, things like that about the property. And I wanted to get very specific with that in this video. Here in Arizona, realtors have the power of attorneys, basically where we can write contracts, and it's in the Constitution of Arizona, and I wanted to read that. So let me put on my glasses and I'll read that for you. Article 26, Section 1, Powers of Real Estate Broker or Salesman. Any person holding a valid license as a real estate broker or real estate salesman regularly issued by the Arizona State Real Estate Department, when acting in such capacity as broker or salesman for the parties or agent for one of the parties to a sale, exchange or trade, or the renting and leasing of a property, shall have the right to draft or fill out and complete without charge any and all instruments incident thereto, including but not limited to, I love this attorney language, preliminary purchase agreements, earnest money receipts, deeds, mortgages, leases, assignments, releases, contracts for sale and of realty, and bill of sales. So that gives us the power from the Constitution of the state of Arizona to write contracts. With that comes liability. And let me read a little bit that would relate to what I'm going to talk about here, and this is negligence. This is a common claim in civil cases. In general, is negligence. This legal claim asserts that a defendant owed a duty to the plaintiff but breached this duty. As a result, the breach caused the plaintiff to suffer some harm. In the real estate context, the duty may be expressly provided in the contract. In contrast, it can be a general duty of care that the real estate agent was expected to exhibit given his or her relationship with the plaintiff. What all of this means is, and this comes up a lot when I'm showing properties with clients, they will be like, hey Brian, what do you think of the air conditioning unit? And I will say, hey, if air conditioning is important to you, which I'm sure it is, I really recommend that you get a home inspection, get an air conditioning expert to come in and check the air conditioner for you. And then I'll get a question like, what type of roof is this, and how does it look? And I will say the same thing. Hey, if the roof is important to you, and it should be, I recommend that you get a roofing expert, home inspection on that roof, so they can tell you exactly what it is. And what I'm doing here is, because if I tell someone, hey, the air conditioning seems good, and they buy the house, because of the way the Arizona Constitution is written for the powers of a realtor, and it exposes me to liability. If I say that air conditioner seems really well, my client buys it, the air conditioner breaks, they can sue me for that, sue me for a new air conditioning unit. So I'm not an expert in air conditioning units. I'm not an expert in home construction. I'm not an expert in roofing. I'm not an expert in telling you what kind of countertops those are, what kind of stone they are, what kind of tile that is, how everything is made. That is not what I do. I'm a realtor here in Arizona. What I'm an expert in is the real estate purchase and sale process, in the contracts and in taking care of my clients in that regards. So I would refer any and all questions about the property to my clients, that they need to get an expert in that particular area of expertise, that they can get questions answered and get real information. So when I do home tour videos, I don't say, even if the builder gives me a sheet that says these are Italian marble counters, Italian marble floors, these are 12-foot ceilings, these are whatever. If I tell that to someone and they buy the house based on what I said, then, and it's not that way, it's not Italian marble, it's some other kind, and my buyers don't want that at all, they can sue me for it. And I know that kind of seems far-fetched. Let me give you an example, real world example. I had a buyer wanting to purchase a home and got it under contract. My buyer calls me and says, hey, I want to buy a washer and a dryer. Is that dryer gas dryer or electric dryer? So I contacted the listing agent and asked, is that dryer at that house, is that a gas dryer or electric? The listing agent told me that it was gas. So I relayed that information to my buyer and says, listing agent says it's gas. My buyer goes out and buys a gas dryer for the property. And the day they moved in, they're putting in the dryer and it's not gas, it's electric. So my buyer now completely turns against me, calls my broker and says, Brian is horrible. He doesn't know anything that he's talking about. I'm suing you for his commission. I want his commission, and I want Brian to buy me a new dryer on top of it. I think she was suing for something else as well. And that wasn't me. I didn't say that, oh yeah, I know for sure that's a gas dryer. I didn't say that. I said listing agent told me that it was a gas dryer. So that's what happens, unfortunately. So in my videos, I might have a sheet from the builder that tells me everything in it. I'm not going to get into great detail about that. If someone comes to Phoenix, wants to buy the property, we will sit down with the model home, the builder, and get all that information from the builder. That way, the buyer knows exactly what they're getting, and I wouldn't say anything, make a mistake on something, and then I'm protected as well. And I just had a thought about that. So if I'm with my buyer, we're walking through a house and I see a crack in the foundation, I see a crack in the ceiling, I hear something with the air conditioning unit, it's sputtering, it's not working, it might not be as cold as I think it might, should be, anything like that, I will point that out to my buyers. Absolutely. Even in new construction, I tell my buyers they need to get a home inspector. Builders make mistakes, they forget things, sometimes things don't come together like they should. So I always recommend my buyers, in a new home purchase, new construction purchase, get home inspectors, get air conditioning inspectors, get everything and anything that they need to make sure that house is built properly and the way it should be. So that's why I wanted to give a video about it. That's why I don't get into great detail about the properties, because once again, if I say it's a 4,200 square foot house per the builder, and my client buys the house because of that, and then they have it measured later, it's 3,600 square foot, that exposes me to liability. So that's why I do that. I'm not avoiding anything in the sense of, I don't want to say something that could come back because I could make a mistake on it, and I'm not an expert in those areas. Hopefully that makes sense. Thanks so much for coming to the channel, watching my video, and I will see you on the next tour.